Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we're talking about Vampire Masquerade, the Swansong. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started with this. So this is kind of this is kind of what I would call a review in progress type deal, because I do feel like I'm going to complete this game, but it's been out now for a couple days and I want to get something out there to kind of let you know a little bit more about this experience. So, in my time, I've got about 3.5 hours into the game now. I've been playing through it and just kind of, taking my time, trying to look at things, trying to figure out, the type of gameplay, what it's going to be, what kind of an experience it's going to offer me. And so far, I mean, it's not perfect by any means. By any means, it's not perfect. But it is delivering an experience that I believe it is worth it. I bought the game and it's given me an experience that I feel is worth my time. So let's talk about like some of the stuff. I'm playing this on Xbox Series X. I have played some on Series S as well. One of my biggest pet peeves with this game so far is probably the inconsistency with character design. So some characters look really, really good. Some characters are a bit off. Mostly those are like the side characters, like the NPCs or like other characters that you'll talk to. You'll be like having a conversation with somebody and like their textures will start popping in, and or it'll switch to them, back to them, and then you'll wait a second and their textures will pop in and stuff like that. And then sometimes they're like a lower quality a build of that character as opposed to what your character looks like. So there are and then like world geometry kind of pops in every once in a while. More so on Series S than on the Series X. On the Series X, you are still getting that, but not as much. Now, both of these games have an unlocked 60 frames a second. Unlock frame rate up to 60 frames a second. I can confirm that VRR 100% gets rid of that, makes this 100% smooth experience. It feels good. There's no like frame pacing issues or anything like that. It is still playable without VRR, but the Xbox Series S version does run better. It does run a little bit better with the with VRR not enabled. The Series X version, it fluctuates so much with it between 50 to 60 that it just feels it can add a little bit of judder all it's like pretty often, and it's and it kind of does, like make you take a step back. This game definitely needs some more optimization to be 100%. If this game was like 100% right now, I feel like it would be a lot better of an experience, because when you get into the game and the conversation and you get into like the world exploring and stuff like that, like it does click. Like it's like, oh man, this is actually kind of cool, man. This isn't too bad. Story wise, it's been pretty good, stuff like that. But just a few inconsistencies with like character face animations while they're talking. And like the texture pop in and the shaky frame rate while moving around and stuff, it does kind of impact the your immersion a little bit, to a point where it's like you can get over it and it's not that big of a deal, but it is one of those things that you're gonna have to really love this game to overlook these small flaws. If you're somebody that's like me, just barely getting into this and like playing it, you might notice this stuff a lot more. But if you're somebody that's been into the series and you play these kind of games and you like them, it'd probably be easier for you to overlook these little minor flaws, because they pretty much are minor. at this point, but at the same time, it is more of a it's more of a print like a principle thing. Now this game is only $59.99, so it's a little bit easier to kind of overlook that because they didn't raise the price on you. It is a cross-gen game. You can definitely tell that the cross-gen nature of this game does have an impact on what this game could be. Now, on the Xbox Series X, it looks like it's running at native 4K all the time. Like it looks sharp, it looks crisp, it looks clean. And the same goes for the Series S version. While that might be toned down to like 1080p, it still looks sharp and clean and crisp on a 1440p monitor. So it's one of those games where like they're going for the visual impact like really high, and that's probably a good idea for this type of an experience because it I mean, like ugly textures and like if this world design didn't hold up to the high fidelity standard quality visuals that it has, ooh, man, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you're playing this on a next-gen console like an Xbox Series X or PS5 or Series S, you're going to want the visual quality for this game, for sure. And it does do that. It does give you some pretty nice-looking visuals. Now, when you're walking in front of a mirror, it shows you a reflection, which is weird because, like, you're a vampire. Like, should there be a reflection for vampires? I don't know. Like when you're walking in front of glass, stuff like that, it shows you a reflection. So, I mean, your character reflects on surfaces for the most part. I don't know if it's ray tracing. Like, I can't guarantee it's ray tracing. But it does look, like if you've played Hitman and you walk in front of a mirror, like the reflection looks crystal clear. On this, it's dialed back. The reflection is dialed back. That's why I question if it is ray tracing or not. Like when you're standing in front of a mirror and your character's blinking, the mirror blinks. Like the reflection in the mirror will blink and stuff like that. So it looks pretty convincing. But like I said, they're lower quality. Shadowing in this game looks pretty decent. Character models, like your main characters, they look pretty good generally all the time. Like I said, the supporting characters, maybe not so much. So now that we're done talking about like visuals, stuff like that, let's get into how the game plays. So this is basically a word RPG. Like you talk, you use your talking, and you get into like conversations and stuff like that. You can use powers to like overpower things. You can it's essentially like playing like Detroit Become Human or Life is Strange True Colors. It's an experience like those. So they're meant to be more of like a sit back and chill, you know, kind of like use your thinking, you know, like some of the stuff in the game, you know, like the puzzles, like figuring stuff out. I'm doing a pretty decent job at like figuring the stuff out. I mean, you do have to kind of think about it a little bit. Like there's this one part where I'm like trying to get into a computer and it's locked with a password and you're stuck in this room until you figure it out. And I'm like looking around at everything and I happened to look at a piece of paper on a table and noticed like a 4-digit code, you know, written on something over by there. And so I was like, let me go try that. And I went back and boom, there it was. And it was like, there was nothing to tell. I mean, there was a clue on a whiteboard right next to it. And you're just like, okay. And the way it does it is like so subtle that like it's kind of cool. Like when you figure that kind of thing out, you're like, oh, I see. And then after you do figure it out, even if you find it like on accident like I did, and then you look at that, and then you look at the board with the clue on it, and then you look back at the thing, and you're like, oh, okay, I get it. It understands. It makes sense. So it's subtle stuff like that that's like, nice, dude. I like how they put that together. And that's the kind of stuff that's intriguing me to continue playing. The way that things are built and the way that things kind of just come together. It's like, whoa, man. And then you'll get into a situation like I got into this like little prison thing and like trying to figure this out. This was pretty cool. Like there's like exploration and like literally digging down to figure every single thing out in this game is well worth your time and well worth the experience that you're going to get once you get, once you get to the outcome of each little chapter and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Like I'm really digging this experience. Now, it's not like something that's like really super like there's not a whole lot of like super high action or anything in this game. It is more along the lines of like being a detective, figuring things out, like talking to people, finding clues, putting things together. It's such like a it's a mind game, and I love those. I love those, and so far, it's been pretty clever for the most part. Like I'm not gonna lie, like some of the stuff in there is pretty clever, and the more I think about it, the more it intrigues me to like want to do better as I play, because you get three characters. There's three characters, and they all have like a like a part to play in each little episode. That oh, it's pretty cool, man. I do like this. It gives me like I loved Detroit Become Human. Like I thought that was an amazing game. When I played Life is Strange True Colors, I was like, wow, this game actually turned out to be pretty dang good. So these games are starting to become like a genre that I'm starting to care about. That I'm starting to be like, yeah, man, I kind of want to play those. So I mean, like beyond life. Oh gosh, I've played a few of them on PlayStation. Some of these type of games, and they really do kind of they really are meant for like a relaxing. You just sit back, you just play it, you just enjoy your time. They're really heavily story focused, which this game is doing pretty good so far. Like the story that's starting to come about is starting to be like, wow, man, this is pretty cool. And like your actions have consequences, which in like that, like in Detroit Become Human, your actions had consequences, and that not so much in Life is Strange. Not as much as like what I'm experiencing right now. Well, it's it's pretty cool. Like it's pretty cool. Like I'm really enjoying this game. I really am having a good time with it. It started off a little bit slow, but then it starts to like snowball and get better and better and better as I keep playing it. And to tell you the truth, I mean these minor nitpicks and bugs, hopefully they get them fixed, pretty soon, because like it really can affect your overall experience when you're going through this. And like I said, some people are going to be able to overlook this stuff. Some people, they're gonna nitpick about it, and it's going to be, up to you to decide. Now, if you're a gamer that has to have it perfect, I would wait for patches. I'd wait for patches. By the time it gets patched up and fixed up, it'll probably be cheaper anyways. But if you're somebody that wants to get in there and experience this right now, while it's new and fresh, and not have to worry about something else coming out that's gonna completely blow the doors off this experience and make it look not as good, that's up to you. Me personally, I'm at a point where I'm completely comfortable with this purchase. I feel like I feel like the experience I've had already has justified me taking a chance on it. Like this was a game that I was kind of on the fence about picking up and not picking up, but I did a poll on the channel, got like 69%. So I was like, all right, man, we'll just go ahead and do this one. I'm having a good time with it. I think it's a good game. I think this one is a pretty solid game. I really liked Life is Strange. I really liked Detroit Become Human. This is that type of an experience, and it is doing a pretty decent job so far of being able to tell its story and provide compelling gameplay that keeps you entertained and keeps you thinking about what's going on. Like I went to bed last night thinking about this game. Like that's pretty cool. When I can go to bed and I'm thinking about like a game and I'm thinking about like different scenarios and stuff like that, those are the ones that I usually tend to really like. Like Control Remedy, man, I thought about that game so much while I was sleeping. While I was trying to go to sleep, I was just like, gosh, this game is so good. And when I'm thinking about something, it usually turns out to be something that I rather enjoy. So I'm liking this experience. I'm thinking it's pretty decent. It is definitely something that it's definitely something it's definitely something that will compel you to play it the more you play it. And And that's good, man. Like sometimes we just need some of these slower experiences that really make us think and really put us on our toes and really, you know, give us something outside of the everyday safe action adventure first person shooter racing experience, something else to kind of push that to push the medium forward. This is one of those titles that if you need to go out of your way to experiment, if you're just sick and tired of playing the same safe game over and over and over again, this might be something for you. This might be something for you. I 100% am enjoying my experience with this. So far, everything I've played, I've been like, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. I wish I was more experienced at this type of game. At this, with the Vampire Masquerade games, I wish I was more experienced because at the end of each chapter, when I look back and I forget something or I don't do something right, or there's something that I didn't even think to look for, it it kind of sets up like that. Oh man, do I want to just start over right now? But I don't know, man. I'm already far enough into the game that I'm just gonna play through it and see how it turns out. Because depending on how long it is, like I mean, if it's an 8 hour game, I was I was looking at something that was saying that the gameplay should be about 20 hours. So if it's a 20-hour game, chances of me playing through it a second time are kind of low. Depending on how good it is, and like if stuff can branch off more, I usually don't replay these. I usually do not replay these games ever. I get my experience and then I just move on with that. Like I'm not a 100% completionist. I don't really need to complete games multiple times to see multiple different endings, stuff like that. Like I'm usually content with what I get. In that experience, because that first initial experience is like boom, everything's packed in and all in one, and I'm just like, yeah, let's do it. And it has my full attention. After that, other stuff comes out, and then my attention is just so distracted in so many different ways that it's hard for me to replay story games. It really is hard for me to replay story games, and I think a lot of us suffer from that. So far so good with this game. So far so good. I'm happy I picked it up. I'm really enjoying my experience with it. So I will update this coverage as soon as I complete the game. I'm probably going to try to play through it, this weekend and get done with it, because I've got other. Actually, I'm so kind of torn because I want to play some Arma. I want to play some freaking, some Evil Dead still. I want to get in there and really play around with that. But right now, yeah, like this game is the one that's got my attention. So I'm going to go ahead and keep playing that, and I'll update you on this coverage. Hopefully I can get it done this weekend so that I can give it the full review that it deserves. And I will see you in the next... Oh, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. We're definitely growing pretty good, and I want to be able to grow and reach as many people as I can so that, yeah, so that I can become important. No, I'm just joking. All right, yeah. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Don't forget to, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.